Hey guys, so this is what you do when you're lame on a Friday night. You make YouTube videos and smoke hookah outside in the dark. This video is going to be very different from my other ones. Some of you may or may not know, depending on who's looking at this, that I was diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum in December. And I got tested, evaluated, whatever, everything. The whole thing took about three and a half hours, so it was a very long process. But I just wanted to go over the list of female Asperger syndrome traits that pertain to me, and something I've always experienced, even though I wasn't diagnosed until a few months ago. And some of you may say, like, oh, this explains a lot of people, even those who don't have autism. Well, yeah, some of them do, but what really matters is to the extent and how many you have that makes a difference. Before I begin, if you hear a dog barking, it's the dog next door who never shuts up. And if you see me moving or flicking something, it's because there are a lot of June bugs out here that will get on me. So I'm just going to read off the ones that pertain to me and explain how or why. So the first category is appearance/personal habits. Dresses comfortably due to sensory issues and practicality. I've always dressed for comfort. Never cared about fashion or anything like that. My clothing style has pretty much been the same from high school on up to now. I basically wear a casual shirt and jeans. I only dress up when I really have to, but I don't enjoy it. I hate wearing dresses. Only wear them if I need to. And it is, I guess it's more due to practicality than sensory issues. I'm very lucky that I haven't had a job where I've ever had to dress up, business-like. When I was a nanny, of course, I wore casual everyday clothing. I worked at a bookstore that was casual. I worked as a speech therapist assistant, and it could have been casual, but I chose to wear scrubs to preserve my clothes since I was going into dirty areas. And now I work at a call center where they say business casual, but they don't really enforce it. But they did say they wanted us to start wearing shirts without writing on them. So I have several like polo type shirts and other stuff that I can wear, but it's still really comfortable for me. Will not spend much time on grooming and hair. Hairstyles usually have to be wash and wear. Can be quite happy not grooming at all at times. This is me. I hate doing my hair. I switch between wearing it curly and straight. I prefer straight because it's more low maintenance. I just comb it out in the morning and go. When I wash my hair, it's pretty simple for a few days. I hate combing it out, so I will prolong that as long as I can. Sometimes I'll just pull it back into a ponytail, and it may not be the best looking ponytail because my hair is very frizzy, especially on top. So it'll be like maybe a frizzy ponytail with like some curls still kept up in the back. Let's see. is youthful for her age and looks, dress, behavior, and taste. This is true. People always assume that I'm younger than I really am. In looks. Dress, like I said, I still dress pretty much the way I did in high school and college, and I'm 24 now. Behavior, I can have youthful behavior, but I think it's mostly just when I'm around other kids and I'm, trying to relate to them and play with them. Let's see. Enjoys reading and films as a retreat, often sci-fi, fantasy, children's. Can have favorites, which are refuge. This is definitely a big one for me. I love reading. I read almost every day. I like to read biographies, memoirs, history, psychology, that kind of stuff. I used to be more into like teen fiction stuff when I was about 12, but never that much. 12, I was really big on Greek mythology, so I've always had different reading interests. Some fiction I like if it's a very classic book, like, say, Gone with the Wind or Uncle Tom's Cabin, something that's a classic. But as far as new drama stuff, completely fiction, I'm not really into that. Films are really big. I watch a movie pretty much every night, sometimes two. I will watch the same movie and over again. I'm obsessed with movies. They're my special interest. I can tell you a lot about what happened behind the scenes, because I like to watch the behind the scenes stuff. I like to watch interviews with an actress or actor that I like that was in the film and see how they felt, what their experience was making the movie. I could go on and on about that all day if you let me. Usually happiest at home or in other controlled environments. This is true. I like being at home or places I'm familiar with, like maybe a friend's house or another relative's house. Often musical, artistic. I'm going to read these two because I think they kind of connect. One is often musical, artistic, may have a savant skill or strong talents. I played the drums for a while before I got to high school, and I would say I was pretty good. Well, percussion in general, I was pretty good. My strongest talent has been writing or acting. I used to want to go into both of these, so I spent a lot of time doing it. I was in theater in high school. I didn't do that many plays because I was more into film, so I did take lessons in acting for film, got a demo reel, headshot, everything, but never did anything with it. This could possibly be one, maybe a self-taught reader. I'm not sure if I was self-taught, but I've always read well above my grade level and my age level. I was also tested for it in 7th grade, reading, writing, and math, and it showed that I had the writing level of a freshman in college, the reading level of a senior in high school, but the math of a 3rd grader. I've never been good at math. I hate numbers. Maybe highly educated, but will have had to struggle with social aspects of college. May have one or many partial degrees. I am highly educated. I majored in communication. disorders, and I only made one C the whole 4 years that I was in college. The social aspects I definitely did have to struggle with. I got a little better with the social aspects like my junior year, but I only talked to a select group of people. Can be very passionate about a course of study or job and then change direction or go completely cold on it very quickly. This is definitely me. I used to be very passionate about writing. I would write all the time, stay up until the middle of the night writing things. And then I kind of just stopped. I still have a lot of ideas that go through my head, and I'm always making up stories. I just never write them down anymore. This also pertains to the speech pathology. I worked as a speech therapist assistant for a while, and went really cold on that. I just kind of lost the interest for it. I think it was more of the job setting, but I have no desire to go back to doing that at all. I just learned that that kind of job setting wasn't for me. Will often have trouble holding on to a job and may find employment daunting. This partially relates. I did have trouble holding on to the speech assistant job because of other personal things in my life. But I don't think that I would do well at holding a full-time job. Maybe I would. The speech therapist job was almost full-time. I was just like a few hours short. So that was the closest I ever got to a full-time job. But I've realized that I like part-time stuff a lot better. I found finding employment very daunting. It was just so much of a hassle and going on interviews, and I just had anxiety all the time and just felt so overwhelmed with that. Highly intelligent, yet sometimes can be slow to comprehend due to sensory and cognitive processing issues. I am pretty intelligent. Not trying to sound conceited, but I am pretty smart. But sometimes at work, people, they don't have to really repeat things. I kind of repeat it for them, like I'm given an instruction and then I'll repeat it back just to make sure that I understood correctly. Or sometimes the way people word certain things doesn't really get through to me, so I ask them to explain it in like another way. Will have obsessions, but they are not as unusual as her male counterparts. That's pretty true. My obsessions are about pretty, what I would consider normal things. I mean, like movies, reading, psychology, that kind of stuff. So I don't think that's too abnormal. And that was the intellectual giftedness and education category that I just went over. The next one is emotional, physical. Anxiety and fear are predominant emotions. That's definitely true. I get anxious over pretty much anything. These stupid bugs. Sorry. I get obsessed with pretty much, no, not obsessed. This is really bothering me. Oh, anxiety. Yeah, I also have generalized anxiety, so I get anxious about pretty much every little thing. Sometimes it's just a little anxiety, and sometimes it causes big problems. Strong sensory issues, sights, sounds, smells, touch, and prone to overload. I do have sound sensitivity. Certain sounds will make me feel overwhelmed. They don't even have to be like a lot of sound. Usually it does happen with a lot of sound, but it can even be like someone dropping a pan or something. And I think that's more related to misophonia, which is a hatred of sound that I've experienced since I was about 7 or 8 in my memory. Moody and prone to bouts of depression, may have been diagnosed as bipolar or manic depressive, while the Asperger syndrome diagnosis was missed. I am prone to bouts of depression. I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder before the autism, so I do believe that that was, oh, sorry, not the computer. So I do believe that that was an experience where the Asperger syndrome diagnosis was missed. And the depression, I believe, is just a core morbid of the autism. Let's see. Stems to soothe when sad or agitated, rocking, face rubbing, humming, finger flicking, leg bouncing, finger or foot tapping, etc. I do stem. I flap my arms. I'm not actually sure if that's a stem or a tic from the Tourette's. I can't really tell the difference, but I do the arm flapping. I do rock. I've always rubbed my face, and a lot of times I'm not even aware that I'm doing it until my mom points it out and tells me to get my hands off my face. Finger flicking a little bit, not that much. I don't really leg bounce or foot tap that I can think of. Similarly physical when happy, hand flapping, clapping, all that stuff. I don't really think I do it more when I'm happy. I think it's just a thing that happens. Prone to temper or crying meltdowns over seemingly small things due to sensory or emotional overload. I really hate these bugs. I'm sorry, guys. I will have meltdowns, mostly crying, and it is due mostly to emotional overload, and it can be sensory too. I will cry if I am feeling overwhelmed by sound too much. When I was a teenager, looking back, I think I may have had more of the temper meltdowns. My mom and I would get into quite a few arguments, almost to the point where she was going to let me move out the house and go stay with my grandpa. And I know teenagers have, like, you know, the whole hormone thing going on, so a lot of them have temper, mood issues, but mine could get, like, pretty bad at times in private. Hates injustice and hates to be misunderstood. This can incite anger and rage. Most people hate injustice and being misunderstood. Don't know how I can elaborate on this one. Being misunderstood makes me feel more sad than angry, though. And I have been misunderstood quite a lot. So that was emotional and physical. The last one is social/relationships. Perceived to be cold-natured and self-centered, unfriendly. I have had people who say, upon meeting before meeting me, they thought I was stuck up. I have been called cold nature and self-centered by some people who just don't know me very well, but I'm really not. I'm not unfriendly, but I'm not one to go out of my way to be friendly, if that makes sense. I'm just pretty neutral, and I may grow to like you and I may not, but I wouldn't consider myself unfriendly. Is very outspoken at times, may get very fired up when talking about passion / obsessive interest. This is me. I am outspoken, very opinionated, but I try to back up my opinions with facts if I can. And I do get very passionate when talking about my obsessive interests, especially, like I said, movies. Like her male counterpart, will shut down in social situations once overloaded, but is generally better at socializing in small doses, may even give the appearance of skilled, but it's a performance. I do shut down in social situations when there are more people that I don't know. I'm good at one-on-one, maybe an extra person, but that's about the extent of it. I'm trying to smoke this at the same time because I don't want it to go out on me. Sometimes I probably look like I'm skilled at holding discussions, but like they said, it is a performance. I think I was more skilled, or appeared more skilled with it when I was in middle school and had like the clique behavior. Doesn't go out much, will prefer to go out with partner only or children if she has them. I don't go out much. I don't have a partner. I enjoy going out with relatives and friends. There aren't too many places I enjoy going. I enjoy going to different restaurants, and I enjoy going to hookah lounges. And that's pretty much the extent of my enjoyment of going out. But I'm also perfectly happily going to the hookah lounges by myself, which I will do. I don't like going to restaurants by myself. I've never been able to do that. Will not have many girlfriends and will not do girly things like shopping with them or have get-togethers to hang out. This is partially true. I do like to hang out with my female friends, but it's mostly something like grabbing a bite to eat or watching a movie. Nothing big. I don't do the whole mall shopping thing unless they want to, but I never suggest it. And I don't have many girlfriends. I have 2 girlfriends, and we've been friends for a long time. One of them since we were 4 or 5, and another one going on about 6 years, or maybe it has already been 6 years, but those are the only 2. We'll have a close friend or friends in school, but not once adulthood is reached. I do, like I said, have 2 close friends. In school, I would have one good friend in my class and kind of like attached to them. But once we weren't in the same class, or I left the school because I went to a lot of schools, the friendship would eventually end. I no longer keep in touch with anybody that I went to school with, except maybe on Facebook. I'm scratching my throat. May or may not want to have a relationship. If she is in a relationship, she probably takes it very seriously, but she may choose to remain celibate or alone. I don't have a strong desire for a relationship. It's one of those things where if it happens with the right person, that's great. If not, that's okay too. I am asexual, so it is hard to find a partner who accepts that. It's very different from being celibate, but that's not something that I will compromise on. So if I end up being by myself, then that's fine.